Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. This is the cypress swamp country of South Arkansas. It's an area of lush vegetation and quiet backwaters, making it a habitat that provides a paradise for many kinds of wildlife. At one time, these wetlands also supported a large number of alligators, but their numbers were greatly reduced due to the loss of habitat and unregulated commercial hunting. To restock these swamp areas, a program was started that involves capturing alligators in neighboring Louisiana and bringing them here to Arkansas. Because this relocation program involves 2 states, we have sent Wild Kingdom field reporter Peter Gros to Louisiana to participate in the alligator capture there. The men use an airboat because it's the fastest way to cover the great distances in the vast Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge where the restocking project begins. The airboat's hull skims on top of the water and makes it possible to travel to the most remote and shallow areas of that huge wetland habitat. They'll soon arrive at the first location to be covered by Peter Gros. We'll be receiving his report from Louisiana after we've made some further observations in a remote part of this restocking area. We're also planning to check on some recent reports of a large nuisance alligator that has left the swamp and has now moved onto some farmland nearby. We'll head for the area where the nuisance gator was last seen. My companion and guide today is Bill White, wildlife biologist with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. He knows where the gator has been leaving the swamp to maraud for food on land. This grove of trees, with cypress knees jutting up out of the dark water, is both beautiful and pristine, an area that is part of a vast swamp system, which is protected by man, creating an ideal habitat for gators and many other animals that live together as nature intended. Common here is the black bear that thrives on the many kinds of berries growing along the banks of the swamp. This is also a perfect habitat area for the raccoon. He finds this an abundant hunting ground for frogs, crayfish, and insects. While we continue looking for the big 12-foot gator here in this beautiful wildlife area, deep in the swamps of Arkansas, there is an important activity going on in the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge in southwestern Louisiana, where the restocking program begins. Part of the restocking program involves collecting eggs from the nests of female alligators by men from the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Assisting them today is Peter Gros.
It is necessary to move this female gator off her nest in order to get the eggs that she has buried under this mound of dry vegetation. The female's instinct to return to her nest and protect her eggs makes her a very dangerous alligator. If we can keep the gator at bay with the pole, it should be safe for the men to start gathering the eggs. Dave Richard of the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries uncovers the eggs that are buried deep inside the nest. Dave is assisted by Sam Barkley of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. The eggs are found in the middle of the nest where the temperature is constant. They must be handled carefully or the embryo within the egg will die. The top of the egg is marked so the position of the embryo will remain the same when the eggs are transported. It is necessary to continue to keep the female alligator at bay because she still wants to return to her nest. All the eggs in the nest will be marked and then taken to the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge headquarters, where they will be incubated, producing young gators for the restocking of other habitat areas. The work here is almost finished, and just in time, because the female alligator is really irritated now. We'll be able to leave as soon as Dave finishes covering the empty nest. While we head for another part of the refuge for a nighttime capture operation, the female gator will return to guard the empty nest. She will guard it for about 2 months, and then will eventually abandon it. We're still in the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge. This state-owned refuge is located in the coastal marshlands of southwest Louisiana, where most of the alligators being sent to Arkansas have been captured. Tonight I'll be with a team of men both from Louisiana and Arkansas who plan to capture alligators using airboats and other specialized watercraft. The airboat is ideal because first we are going to capture gators in shallow waters where most other boats cannot go. Traveling at night across the wetlands is a dangerous matter because there isn't any way of knowing what's ahead beyond the reeds. The swamp is filled with a multitude of birds. The black-necked stilt, called that because of its stilt-like legs, is found only in shallow coastal waters like these. It's easy to find alligators at night because the airboat's headlights are reflected by the eyes of the alligators. They are feeding here in the shallow water. We are looking for gators about 4 feet long. When a gator the right size is spotted, Sam will attempt to grab it behind the head. We're in good position now for this gator. This method of capture could be dangerous if you misjudge the size of the alligator. It's important to immobilize the mouth of the gator with strong rubber bands to keep the reptile from using its sharp teeth. It is possible using this method to capture over 100 alligators in a single night for relocation to Arkansas. More small gators will be captured later, but right now it's time to move to deeper waters where the larger ones live. It will be necessary to transfer to another kind of boat because it is difficult to lift a large gator into an airboat that rides so high in the water. We'll use this flat-bottom boat because it's quiet, rides low in the water, and is more stable than the top-heavy airboat. This black-necked stilt seems mesmerized by our lights. It's a particularly dark night in this Louisiana wetland, so we'll proceed slowly and carefully in our search for bigger gators. A powerful handheld spotlight is needed to find the gators. When a large gator is spotted, Sam will use a pole with a noose of steel cable on the end for the capture. Just ahead are the gleaming eyes of several big gators. We'll go after the one in the spotlight. It's easy to tell the size of the gator in the water because the distance from the nose to the eyes in inches is equal to the length of the animal in feet. This one measures about 6 inches from snout to eyes, so it is probably close to 6 feet in length. The gator is now in a position to be lifted into the boat, but we still must be careful of its snapping jaws. Our estimate of this gator's length was about right, close to 6 feet, the maximum size for successful relocation, because an animal this length is not yet mature and has not established a home territory in this swamp. Not only will the rubber bands protect us from their sharp teeth, but they will prevent the gators from injuring each other while being transported to Arkansas. So that the gator will be calm on the trip to its new home, its head is covered with a sack. Our work here tonight is only beginning and will continue until we have captured at least 20 more gators of this size for relocation to the swamps and rivers of Arkansas. These remote backwaters of the Arkansas swamps are a perfect habitat for reestablishing alligator populations. Since this project was started, about 3,000 gators have been released here in Arkansas. As soon as we finish releasing these alligators that we have captured in Louisiana, we'll rendezvous with Jim Fowler and his state wildlife biologist, who have located a large nuisance gator that must be captured and removed. The gators here are doing well, indicating that it's a good place to release this youngster. The area is abundant with food and remote enough to be safe from the pressures of civilization. The rubber bands holding the gator's mouth shut will be removed by Sam before the animal is released. To do this safely, Sam ties a rope to the rubber bands. Then, after the alligator is in the water, the rope will be pulled. This restocking area is very close to where Jim has located the big 12-foot nuisance gator that has to be captured and relocated to a remote part of the swamp. So we'll move along and join him for the capture. Jim has just arrived on the bank and is waiting for us. He reports that the capture will be attempted a short distance inland from here and that we should not delay.
The ground here rises steeply and is high and dry. It's on this edge of the swamp that the farmland begins. Here, the nuisance gator found small domestic animals to prey on. Bill White first located the marauding gator yesterday in this area and has kept track of it until we could catch up to help in a capture attempt. The best and safest capture device is a steel cable noose that is attached to a long pole. There's the gator we're after on the bank of the waterhole. He's enormous. This gator probably left the swamp and came here because he was driven out of his home territory by another mature male alligator. The monster is going back into the waterhole. Feeling safe in the water, the gator will not go far, and we should be able to find him somewhere down there. The tough part will be to locate his head for noosing. I can feel him down there, and he seems to be stretched out on the bottom along this bank. Now I'll try to get the loop in front of his head. Missed. We'll make the noose smaller this time because Bill thinks maybe it was too big on the first attempt, causing it to slip off. Got him. To control this huge gator is going to take all the muscle we've got. The gator stops thrashing for an instant, and this is our chance to pull him out of the water. Instinctively, the gator continues to roll in an attempt to escape. Just to make sure he doesn't get back into the waterhole, we'll drag him away from the bank. The gator has slowed down enough now for us to try to get a sack over his head. If we can get his eyes covered, the gator will calm down, making it a lot easier for us to control him. That should do it. Now we can secure the nuisance gator for relocation. The sack covering the gator's eyes is removed temporarily, so Bill can move in and immobilize the giant gator's jaws by placing strong rubber bands over the animal's snout. The rubber bands are in place quickly, and this dangerous marauder is ready to start his trip to a remote part of this swamp where he can do no harm. This highly successful restocking and management program is an example of what can be accomplished when state governments and agencies cooperate. Today, because of this cooperation, the alligator population now numbers in the thousands in the swamplands of Arkansas, and their future looks good. With this kind of cooperation, we can be sure that other wildlife species will continue to flourish and remain part of our wild kingdom.